Hi, welcome to Sharing with Susan B, telling stories from the heart. We're looking to inspire, telling stories of struggle, vulnerability, and lessons learned. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Susan Blaine. This is Sharing with Susan B. It looks a little different because, and I'm going to introduce my guest in a second. He is the 60th guest. And we filmed last year in September, Tyus and I, in the original recording of the series. And out of 60 recordings, it was the only one that had a technical failure. So we weren't able to use the original footage. So we're going to flash back to some of that conversation right now. And then we're going to kind of fast forward and see where he is a year later. Tyus, thanks so much for being here with me today and doing this over Zoom and being number 60, man.
Thanks for having me. Happy
So
to
awesome.
be here again.
And I'll also say that Tyus was my youngest guest of the Gen Z generation. And I think when we recorded, you were 20. You were just short of your 21st birthday in 2019 when we recorded. And then you just turned 22 a couple of weeks ago. And so here we are. Tyus Irvine is a sandwich artist at Wolfdown, which is Berlin street food on Bank Street. It's an eatery and takeout. It's fantastic. He's actually a manager there. You know, last year when we spoke, you talked about, you know, you had done some work with the Sadaqua Food Bank, which is a food bank for the Muslim community. You volunteer for neighborhood cleanups, co-op in high school for grade 4 class, and you've also done some work with the Boys and Girls Club. So, you know, I think that's awesome. You're still at Wolfdown, and here we are a year later. You were my favorite coffee chat on that Sunday that we met for like 2 hours, and we didn't know each other. We had this great convo, you know, and I thought it was fascinating that you were so open and aware and conscious of kind of where you were at.
Starting from a pretty young age, like I had, who was the first? I had my great-grandfather die, and I had my dad die, and I had 2 cousins die, and then my great-grandma died, and then, so it was quite a bit.
It's a short period of time, right?
Yeah, it was over the course of like 2 or 3 years, like all of these deaths. So there's like two deaths a year at some point in times. So that was quite a lot for like somebody who was really young to handle. But I think it did me more of a service than a disservice, in the sense that from a young age I was able to get like a realistic grasp on like kind of like life and death and that. And I meet a lot of people my age who are like really scared of death, and like really freaks them out, and like they get these existential crises, and I've never really had that. Like, I guess I've always just been more grounded in that sense. I guess the biggest thing that we talked about there the last time we filmed was me coming to the realization that like my parents were just other people like me, you know, like the fact that they had me and were raising me didn't make them like this like all-knowing, like all-seeing figures that were like the authority on everything. Like once I realized that they were also just people that had their own problems and had their own traumas, their own things holding them back, and their own desires driving them forward, that really helped me like change my perspective on my own life.
Yeah, well, through that experience, you know, you recognize that you can survive through it, and other people are fearful of it perhaps without the experience, and you had quite a bit of it. So let's fast forward. Here we are a year later. You live on your own and with roommates, and you made that move sort of in March when the pandemic broke, and you unexpectedly sort of lived completely on your own because your roommates didn't come back or move in until September, right?
Yeah.
So here you are, and you're still at Wolfdown. So what are you passionate about? What's got you fired up?
Honestly, it's like, it's the sense, kind of like the sense of unknown, like the way Wolfdown's going right now. Like there's a lot of possibilities on the horizon, and like a lot of paths that like we want to follow and a lot of ways we want to grow. And there's a lot of like potential opportunities that could come out of this for me. And like as a 22-year-old, like just coming into this world, like, I don't know, it's huge to me, like having all of a sudden all this opportunity on the horizon. I'm starting to get to the point now where I don't need like validation from others at all, like where I'm able to recognize like I am giving my all here, I'm not giving my all here, or I did good work here. No matter what anyone says, like it doesn't matter. Like I gave this my all. I did a good job. Like,
and I remember when we talked, you had only been 3 months in. So here you are, you know, almost a year,
yeah,
you know, year and a half of working.
yeah,
And, you know, we had talked about at that time, you know, just letting go of negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, I can't. And it was
yeah.
kind of theory for you at that time because you were only a little ways into sort of your independence, I guess. What advice would you give sort of people in your generation that are maybe struggling, maybe not right now as fluid or moving forward like you are? Do you have some words of wisdom to share?
Like I was saying before, figure out who you are, figure out what you like, figure out what makes you happy, figure out the people that you want to have around you. Like all of these things are very important building blocks for getting anywhere. And so
Absolutely.
if you're just focused on the end and getting to this end point where your life will be good and you'll be happy because this was achieved, it's never going to happen. Like
there's no end point, man. There's no end
yeah,
point, you know.
there's no
It's
end
about
point.
now. It's
Yeah,
about now.
exactly.
And
You have to roll with the punches and grow.
what's next for you?
Right now, my plan is to just keep working hard, keep working as hard as I can. And then hopefully once this pandemic's over and things start to go back to normal, all those doors of possibility and opportunity will just open wide for me and I'll just run right into whichever one.
How about some rapid fire questions? You ready?
Okay.
Yeah. Who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Favorite food indulgence?
Maybe some cheese tortellini.
Ooh, are you a little hungry right now?
Yeah, a little bit.
How about someone you admire?
I'd say my mom. My mom's huge, like just going through everything that she went through in her own life and then still being able to then like raise me by herself for as long as she did. And then also like when she was going through stuff again, she was still always there for me. And even now, like when she's pushing her own career and she's going places and following her own dreams, but she always makes time for me. And she always, no matter what she has going on, she makes time for me. And it's really nice.
How about a favorite movie or a book or a quote that inspires you?
A favorite book? If we're talking inspiration wise, I actually have it right here.
Oh.
This book, The Reason You Walk by Wab Kinew.
Wow.
It's like Wab Kinew is a huge Métis activist.
Okay.
And so that book is all about his experience growing up with parents that were in residential schools and then how that childhood affected his life and the hardships he went through, and then how he used everything he went through to give back to the community that he loves so much. It's a really powerful story.
How about something that always makes you smile?
Probably just coming home at the end of the day, honestly. That was one of the big things that I realized moving out.
What's your definition of success in one sentence?
Being able to look in the mirror and smile. That has to do with like your body image, like your mental health, also like pride in your achievements and your accomplishments and everything like that. It just all goes together.
Thank you so much. And for being the final guest in this series. High five.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And have a great day. And stay tuned, guys. There'll be more sharing with Susan B to come. Thanks, Tyus.